Hello, welcome to my channel, Puto Maravilla, where I'll pretty much be talking about anything football or FIFA related. After a long time analyzing game by game at work and post-tournament statistics, I've decided to make my first video about the Euro 2016 team of the tournament. So let's get started with the starting 11. Now I've chosen a 3-4-3 as the formation because I think it suits the best starting 11. So in goal we have Patricio. You could make a claim for Neuer and Lloris. It's just that Patricio had the least conceded in the knockout stages, most claims in the tournament, and third most saves. And I believe after his man of the match performance in the final, he just deserves that spot. At center back we have Boateng, who was very solid besides that handball, and he saved them many times in the group stages, such as that goal line clearance. As another center back we have Pepe, who was probably the best center back at the Euros. He should have won both of Renato Sanchez's man of the matches, and he was just fantastic for Portugal all around. Clearly deserves his spot. As the last center back, we have Bonucci, who was probably Italy's best player, as he was their best passer. He had a fantastic first game against Belgium, good game against Germany, and he was just very solid all around as well. In the midfield, we have Payet, who had 3 goals and 2 assists throughout the tournament. He had a fantastic group stage, not as good of a knockout stage, but he scored very decisive goals for France and was very important for them. As one of the center mids, we have Kroos, who was the best passer at the Euros with 608 passes, and he was Germany's heart. Every game you saw them play, he was like their Iniesta. As the other center mid, we have Ramsey, who was very solid throughout the whole tournament. You saw that Wales took a big blow when he was out in the semi-final against Portugal, and overall he had 1 goal and 4 assists. In the last midfield spot, we have Hazard, who was very important in Belgium's run. He had 1 goal and 4 assists, and he was just a good player throughout the tournament. As one of the attackers, we have Bale, who actually took place in Wales' first ever appearance in the semifinals. He had 3 goals and 1 assist, and was solid in every attack. He caused a problem for every single defender. As player of the tournament and top scorer of the tournament, we have Antoine Griezmann, who had 6 goals and 2 assists. He scored very decisive goals for France, 5 in the knockout stages. And lastly, who helped Portugal win their first ever major trophy, is Ronaldo, who had 3 goals and 3 assists. He was not the best throughout the tournament, had some pretty poor matches, but he did score some decisive goals for Portugal, and was a key in their run to the title. Now we have some honorable mentions, players that just didn't fit in the 3-4-3 starting 11, and I thought played well throughout the tournament. As the first honorable mention, we have Neuer, who only conceded 3 throughout the tournament, and most of them were penalties. Next up, we have Hugo Lloris, who was in the final, and he conceded 5, I believe, throughout the tournament, but 4 were in the knockout stages, and I don't think it was just enough to get a place in the starting 11. And now we have Joe Allen, who was actually in UEFA's team of the tournament, although I don't believe he deserved to be in the starting 11. And next up we have Kuba, who was also great in Euro 2012. He was great for Poland this tournament, and he was probably their most prolific player. And who could forget Giroud, who had 3 goals and 2 assists throughout the tournament. Appearing next is Renato, who was the best young player of the tournament. As you could see, he was explosive in every one of his runs, scored in the quarters, and had 2 men of the matches. Next up we have Guerreiro, who was in the best 11 of the tournament, but I don't believe he should have been in mine due to the formation. He was the best left back at the tournament, extremely rapid, good going forward and tracked back a lot, did very well altogether. Next is Ozil, who had good performances in the knockouts, scored against Italy, and had many passes throughout the tournament. I don't know the exact number, but he wasn't the most head-turning player, but he still had a pretty decent tournament. Next is Nani, who had 3 goals and 2 assists, was also given the silver boot by Ronaldo. He worked hard and tracked back, as you could see in the final. He actually took a good stand as captain for his team, and I think he deserves a spot here. Up next is Xhaka, who had 2 men of the matches, was actually incredible at passing throughout the group stages. It was just unfortunate that he did miss a decisive penalty against Poland in the round of 16. Following is Morata, who had 3 goals throughout the tournament. He was good as a young player for Spain, and he was very effective in the box. And here we have Andres Iniesta, who was Euro 2012 player of the tournament, who had another fantastic tournament in 2016. He did everything for Spain. He was their heart and deserves a spot here. Next up we have Kimmich, who was good going forward and was really hard-working for Germany. He was originally in the best 11 of the tournament, but as I said, my formation just doesn't suit him. Following is Perisic, who had a great tournament, scored some very decisive goals for Croatia, including the goal against Spain that got them first place in their group. And last but not least, we have Pazdan, who was very, very good for Poland. He was their best center back and one of the best center backs at the tournament. Very, very solid player. Alright guys, thanks for checking out my first video. I tried my hardest to put everything in the best format possible, like the players with the background and all that. If you like what you saw, drop a like, subscribe. If you disagree with anything that you saw, just leave something in the comment sections below. Peace.